Welcome to the podcast. Today's episode includes a very young, aspiring entrepreneur that has been doing some really cool things. His name is Alex Sechopoulos, and I will repeat that, Alex Sechopoulos.
Nailed it.
He is head of sales and operations for Mixley USA. He has an entrepreneurial spirit his entire career. He's a young dude. He is under 30. In fact, can I say 27?
26.
20. Oh my gosh, you're even younger,
Yes, sir.
Alex.
Yes, sir.
26. I have been immediately impressed. As soon as I met Alex, this was a few years ago, I was immediately impressed by his poise and his professionalism and his energy and his ability to want to learn and to be able to retain information. There's a whole lot of great things that I'm going to say about Alex. Most importantly, welcome to the podcast, Alex Sechopoulos.
I love it. I love it. I'm happy to be in the Bardverse.
Absolutely.
I've become a fan since IMEX this year, where we last saw each other. I've definitely listened in, watched. You're just a fantastic character. So
Well, I appreciate
added
it.
to my mentor Rolodex. That makes sense.
Absolutely. Before IMEX, you weren't a fan?
Well, I missed the podcast. Let's just say that. And now this is technically a new series. Right?
It is technically a new series, which is
That's
wonderful, which is a lovely intro into For All the Marbles. And it's in partnership with Marblism. The idea behind For All the Marbles is to be able to interview. The founder actually came up with this idea. Yurik Musay, terrific gentleman. He came up with the idea. He said, Bart, your most people don't podcast is very popular. You're great at asking questions. Could we do something together in which you could interview entrepreneurs? I said, absolutely. The purpose then is to be able to talk to people that are entrepreneurs, that are growing their businesses, and we will discuss what are the challenges, what's the best part about being an entrepreneur, what's the most difficult part of being an entrepreneur, and what advice do you have for others? That's what we're going to get into. For All the Marbles, sponsored by Marblism. Sound like a good plan, Alex?
For sure. And I think that's maybe why I like tuning in more, right? Because that's the world I'm in and what I look for to learn, like you said.
Yeah, I want to go back a little bit. The end result is going to be talking about Mixley and your involvement with that, head of sales and head of operations, which is just a really cool product. Mixley is Mixly. We're not going to tell people quite yet what it is. We're just going to tempt them with, what is the tagline? So the
bridge between music, mixology, and technology.
Yes. If you're intrigued by that, you need to stick around. Alex, tell us about growing up. And did you always know that you wanted to be a creative business professional, that you wanted to have your own businesses? Tell us, what was that like? When did you get the indication that you thought, hey, I'm probably really good at this, and I think I want to go out and start new things?
It's interesting. It's definitely not what was on my mind first. I remember being in second grade saying I wanted to be a dentist, right? So everybody had a firefighter, astronaut, whatever. I don't know, after you grow up a little bit more and you start to meet people that are entrepreneurs and meet amazing kind of stories that come from trying to do it on your own and start your own business. I think that was definitely something to aspire to, something that was motivating. I also got to meet some amazing people that brought me in under their business and learn how a family business works.
You have any examples that you could share?
Absolutely.
Any shout out?
I grew up in Windsor, Ontario, in Canada. And through my mom, I was able to meet an amazing family, the Mastronardi family, that own a winery and a wedding venue. And I was able to, during COVID, actually, I guess the best way to put it is during COVID, there was no placements for internships and stuff like that through school. So what I did was look out myself, and luckily knew these amazing people that brought me in, and I learned how it worked to have your own business. It was actually a family brick and mortar winery, which is definitely interesting. A lot of cool stories, but seeing the back of house through Tony and seeing the front of house in event planning through Edie, they were great mentors to me.
All right, Tony and Edie, tell us the name of their winery.
Yeah, now they've just started a new winery. It's an amazing premiere. It's called King's Coast in Kingsville, Ontario. It's
wonderful.
Fabulous. Their Instagram's great too. So even if you just like the beautiful pictures, definitely a good follow.
Fun. Alex, along those lines, and I've seen this before too, that I pull people along that I think would be really great to be able to mentor, because I want to learn from younger folks with technology. I want to learn from students. I just want to learn. What do you think you showed Edie and Tony that you were a valuable asset, that you could contribute? You weren't just going to be a mentee, if that's how the order goes. But what do you think you showed? Mentor, mentee, is that right?
I
Mentor
think
would be
so.
me, mentee would be
Yeah.
the younger. Okay, good.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's definitely what you look for in any employee, right? Is that work ethic, drive, willing to spend some time to make the place better wherever you're working. I started out in the vineyard and ended up inside selling the wine that we grew. Just being able to be flexible, be there every day, some days from 11 a.m. to all the way till 1 a.m.
You had to prove yourself. Work
Yeah.
ethic, attitude, drive, wanting to learn. Where do you think that comes from, Alex?
Oh, I definitely think that's just something that you have or you don't. I don't know if it's a working skill. Maybe for some people. I think it's just in your blood, to be honest.
You watched some really cool people growing
Yeah.
up at
Yeah.
at
And
a
that's what
young
I mean.
age.
That's blood, right? Like
Okay,
that family and stuff like that, for sure.
you
Yeah,
can give a shout out to someone very near and dear to both of us, Shelley
absolutely.
Williams.
Yeah. My mom, she's what drove me to the event industry. Absolutely. Watching her at her previous ventures with either Caesars or Hard Rock, being the eighth person in a room, right? And obviously she didn't go the entrepreneurial route, but what she did was very similar in developing teams and finding ways to make stuff happen, right? And her and my dad as well, like amazing parents that work really hard.
Okay, work drive. You got a couple of opportunities. You were introduced through resources and connections. You had great role models.
Definitely. That's number one.
What did you study in school, Alex? Remind
Business
me.
administration, marketing.
Okay, first job then out of St. Clair College was
Would have been that winery. I stayed on
okay.
for quite a few years as an event support role,
Yep.
retail sales, field sales, trying to get our wine into different restaurants and stuff like that.
All right. Now you have a taste for events. You're liking seeing
Absolutely.
people, feeding off of the energy. You get to do some work with Gather Voices,
Yes.
contract part-time, which is another really cool company. Then you learn about Mixley. Can you describe what Mixley is? And then I want to get into some of the successes and challenges that you've seen so far with Mixley.
So what we do now with Mixley is actually an activation called Taste the Music, right? So the idea is it's a personalized food and beverage activation for any event, right? Small scale, large, 10,000 people, weddings, corporate, doesn't matter. The idea is that we're trying to touch every person in your room. And we do that through music and mixology. So any song on Spotify, we actually have the capability to create flavor profiles that match energies, vibes of any song, which is super exciting for people to come up and search up whatever their favorite song is. If their husband is an artist and releases music, they're able to get a cocktail or mocktail that's based off the composition of the music, which is super interesting. And it's just the idea was to touch everybody. So that's why we use music, the cocktail and mocktail functions as well.
I just want to repeat one of the taglines: taste the music.
Yes,
Taste
that's right.
the music. So have you ever, and whenever you exposed me to it, I just thought it was the coolest idea. Have you ever, and you came up and you said something along the lines of, well, Bart, who's your favorite artist? And I said, Prince. Okay, what's one of your favorite songs? Purple Rain. Bart, have you ever tasted the song Purple Rain?
Yeah.
And I never have. And you pressing the buttons and typing it in and it relaying this information back to you about what would Purple Rain taste like. And the craziest thing that I was surprised and blown away with, it tasted like I could envision the song Purple Rain to taste.
Appreciate it. It's based off those song parameters from Spotify. So it really is the composition of the music and the data set. And then what we do is we cross-reference it with our food and beverage research of a previous company, Food Pairing. And they have a textbook on Amazon. It's pretty much flavor science. It isn't just a fun activation. It is really based off the music. It is factual.
That was hard.
And that happens for a lot of songs. Not Purple Rain. It's a lot of songs people will say the same thing. Like, wow, it does match this song in a way.
Yeah, Alex, what drink surprised you that it so matched the song, or what song surprised you, or what Mixley produced that so matched the drink? Something had to blow
It's
you away.
interesting.
Just
Yeah. For me, it's funny because in our event activation, we use a lot of ingredients that are pretty similar. It's pretty basic stuff. Your strawberry juice, your cranberry juice, whatever. So when you do songs that are like classic rock, that's what I grew up listening to. Like my favorite song is Have a Cigar, Pink Floyd, right? Back when I listened to this song a few years ago before Mixley was even on my mind, I wouldn't picture what it came out to be. But then once I was able to taste it, I believe it's a heavy mango and gin cocktail. And I'm able to have that now because I love that song. It's a kind of a great story, kind of reminds you of what the entrepreneurial spirit is actually. And it fits.
yeah.
You know what
How
I mean?
so? How so? How does it remind you of entrepreneurial spirit? Go deeper here.
So actually some of the key words in that song, Have a Cigar, come in here, dear boy, you're gonna go far. You're gonna make it if you try. And then it continues on. And when I used to listen to that song, when I got into Pink Floyd classic rock, I always thought like it's speaking to me. There's a purpose for this, right?
Oh, man.
I love that song. Mostly because of those lines and a few others that it goes on about. So
Did
definitely,
did you have those lines memorized, or did you look it up just as we're talking?
I'm not that fast. No, I'm actually upset with myself because I'm forgetting the next two lines that
That's okay.
keep into it. It would be so much better for the listeners and actually for listeners as well. Our website is mixleytastethemusic.com and the app
Mixley,
mixleytastethemusic.com. Nice
all
and
one
simple.
word,
Yep.
Mixly, no dashes, mixleytastethemusic.com.
And the reason I say that is because as we're talking, you could pull it up on another tab and search up your favorite song, just so they understand fully what we're going through here. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
great idea. And what I love about you, Alex, is that that wasn't a selfish plug. That was an idea to be able to help the listeners learn more,
Yeah,
right? And that's
it's definitely a
what's cool
concept that
about
you've
you is,
never.
well, let me give you compliments. Hold on. That's you of head of sales and operations for the US. Every single time I've seen you interact with a customer, it wasn't anything other than let's have some fun and allow me, please, if you have time, to teach you about a new experience that did not exist on this planet until you and the founders with Mixley started it, and you bringing it to the US. Please accept that compliment.
I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, and also I'll steal a line from someone that we've worked with together at F1 Arcade. A lot of their salespeople and everybody there say we sell fun,
That's it.
and I feel like I've stolen that line pretty well.
What you've embraced and you've enlivened and you've enhanced all of the three E words there. Embraced, enlivened, and enhanced, you sell fun, because that's exactly what you do. I want to get back a little bit to make sure that our listeners understand a little bit more just about the component and the development of Mixley. Yes, you said Spotify has music components. Do you remember what the 4 ones are that Mixley uses?
So it's interesting. It actually uses 28 different parameters. If you go on our app, you'll see 4 on the screen just to not be as busy. Energy, tempo, danceability, and acousticness.
All right.
That's what you'll see on the screen now.
Okay. Is that what Spotify uses behind the scenes to identify if I like Purple Rain and if I like the song by the Killers and I like Erasure and I like Adamant? Boy, could I get more random with musicians and performers? Is it going to analyze those 28 components to say, if you like this, you might like that? Is that why they have it? Because I didn't even know that until I met you. Is that why Spotify has that?
Essentially, so every song, what happens is that they analyze the beats per minute, vocal key, chords, anything that make up the composition of the music, and they put into those data sets. So every song has that in the back end that is part of their algorithm, right? How they recommend music to their users, all that stuff. So we're able to tap into that to get the most accurate description of a song before we try and make a flavor to match it. We want to start at a great baseline. Through Spotify, we can do that.
In the general public, if I went to Spotify, would I be able to find those 28 components of a song?
I don't believe that they share that directly to consumers, but I believe it is available. I believe it is open.
Right? Okay. Well, that's cool. And that's what you all have used. Mixley has used as part of your partnership. Is that a fair statement to say?
Essentially, yeah. So it's long standing. It was the concept actually created through a Spotify hackathon with Henry, who's our CTO and our founder, for a college project. He was in
I
college
didn't
when he
know
did this
that.
hackathon. It's funny how when you started this conversation, you said creativity and stuff, talking about me. I just immediately think of Henry and the guys over in Europe that started this, and just like the crazy brain you have to think of something that's never existed, to be an inventor.
Yeah, can you get into a little bit of the start then with Henry going to a, what was it called, a Spotify
Hackathon. Yeah.
hackathon?
So
Was
for
he
computer
going?
science people, that's a
Yeah.
known thing for
Okay,
sure.
got it. Sorry.
Yeah. No
Maybe
problem.
I'm sure our listeners will probably know that. Some of them will, at least. Was Henry coming from an engineering background, a computer background? Because he's a young gentleman also. How old is Henry, ballpark?
21.
Oh, he's
21
21.
in March. Yes. He is more engineering focused, but actually because of this venture, he's become much more of a coder and a computer science whiz. For all our branded activations, he's still involved creating all those new softwares that we use to white label for our package. It's our Sonic sponsors package clients.
I want to learn a little bit more about that soon. Henry is in, where's he based?
Belgium.
In
Belgium. Yeah.
Belgium.
So the rest of the food pairing and the Mixley teams are from Belgium.
Okay. Do you remember, was the concept created because Henry went to this event with the idea of music? Did he go with the idea of his father, correct? Food scientist, if I'm getting part of it correct?
Yep.
Did he go there with the thought of, I've been exposed to food scientists and tastes and ingredients the last couple of years because my dad is teaching me. And then, do you remember how it?
Well, I feel like this would be a great plug that, hey, you should have Henry on for sure. But I can tell his story a little bit. The concept came into his brain actually on a vacation. He went with a lot of his friends to Croatia. And the story goes that they went into a bar in Croatia that wasn't a lot of people that spoke English or a native language to them. They didn't know how to speak Croatian. They Dutch and English, French. So no one was in the room with the same languages. So music's playing and they're ordering from the bartender. And Henry and his friends had this idea that every new song that starts playing, we're going to get a different drink and kind of match it. Exactly, like a game. And pretty much what the Mixley concept is. But what was really interesting, Henry noted to me, is that people in the room that they couldn't even speak to understood the concept and what they were doing and began to join in. And that's when Henry was like, there's fire here. We just have to nurture it. So then when the next hackathon came, that was on his mind and it just fit perfect timing.
Yeah, the connection. It provided connections and it provides experiences.
And then he did involve that flavor science through his father and food pairing. You cross-reference that their textbook. And that's how we come up with our taste profiles as well. So that is true.
Would it almost be like a sommelier perspective, like to that level of expertise of taste?
I think it could be even more so, in my opinion. I've obviously, in the wine business, I've met sommeliers and I've gone to nice restaurants that have fantastic experts in wine. Imagine that, but for everything you've ever had in a restaurant or bar. They, at a molecular level, have researched any ingredient at a theme park, restaurant, bar, hotel, whatever, doesn't matter. And then also emotional connections as well. And that's part of that sommelier element that you mentioned.
Okay. The food ingredients, help me with the words because I'm sure I'm not going to repeat everything exactly as I should. The taste profiles, the ingredients. This is a separate company, right, with Henry's father and the people that he is employed with and work with. This is what they do, correct? They identify profiles based on ingredients, based on molecular science. They've had the input, I think you had shared with me before, Michelin star chefs. So it's not just me tasting a beverage and saying, oh, tastes like peach, tastes like pomegranate. There is a lot more to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Am I right so far?
Yeah, totally right.
Why would a company like that even exist? I can see the application for Mixley now, but do you know why does a company like that even exist to identify flavor profiles down to the molecular level for
everything
that's out there. Why? I don't
Mhm.
even know. Why would that
Well,
exist?
it's used for them to create different flavors and products. So there's different flavored products out there. Let's say a flavored toothpick, for example.
Yes.
They need scientists to be able to develop that and incorporate it into their product. So that's actually what they do for different clients, for different things.
When did you realize Mixley was something that you were interested in to say, look, yes, I'm a young gentleman. I've been an entrepreneur. I have several companies. When did you know that this is something that, hey, look, we could bring this to events in the United States?
Oh, for sure. I think it's the product itself, no brainer, right? Just any person that walks up has the same reaction. And I had that reaction as well. But meeting Henry, our CTO, and also Johan, another member of Food Pairing in Mixley, he put the trust in me that after a few conversations that I could be the one to spearhead this region. And they put that trust in me. And that's something I value heavily, from
Right.
Gather Voices to the winery
Yes.
and Mixley now as well. So
It's trust. You're absolutely right. And it's
yeah.
fun, Alex, because even when I knew if I had to turn over one of my valued clients from a speaking perspective over to you, I didn't need to stick around. It's like, okay, you're in great hands. And I guess that's probably another great term. You're in great hands with Alex. And that even might be the title of this podcast, this episode. You're in great hands with Alex because of your drive, your work ethic, your energy, all these things. What have you seen bringing Mixley to the US as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurial spirit? What have you seen to be the greatest challenge as, and again, we're going to keep on using the term entrepreneur. What is the greatest challenge you have seen as an entrepreneur in bringing Mixley to the US?
Awesome. I think us personally that we think Mixley, there's tons of use cases for us in terms of that branded packages I mentioned, increasing sponsor value, just lead generation in general. That's our bread and butter for our clients. But I think when we started, it was a lot of, oh, this would be fun for a little reception, a little opening reception, just a party trick. So I think explaining our use cases and providing proof, hey, this could be a lot bigger than you expect. This could be a marketing kind of push for a whole year, a venue as well. So there's obviously it's our concept, so we love it. And there's like millions of ways to go with it. And I think that it takes time to nurture that in our prospects and our clients.
Well,
If that makes sense.
What? No, I understand exactly because it was great at a trade show event. You had 20 people. How does it operate when Leidos, when American Bar Association, when Google, when Amazon, when Cisco wants to have it at their event for 4,000 people?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a challenge, the scalability of that. Is that
Not necessarily. Not
okay,
necessarily.
tell
Honestly,
me
I think
more.
we thrive in that because we actually rate for more than 150 drinks per hour. So we have solutions to make it great for huge events, 10,000 people. It doesn't matter. We can make it happen. Even with just one machine, giving access to our software is what increases the speed. And I guess the way to put that is our menu, right? As long as people can see our menu, which is 160 million songs ahead of time, then they can come up and get a drink in 5 seconds. No problem. No stress.
Instead of having to think for 10 minutes, what is my favorite song? What is my favorite, whatever, whatever, whatever.
That's what takes the longest in our activation. It's
Yeah.
like, I always equate it to if you're going on a road trip, you sit in your driveway for that first song for like 5 minutes. Every time. Every time. You want to start it off. And I feel like that's the same idea when gentlemen, ladies come up to our machine and they say, oh my God, what was I just last listening to? Oh, I don't know. It's like you could do the easy answer and just say Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
or you can really think maybe my friend back home makes rap songs. I'm going to look for his, whatever. And that's what's really cool too. One stream to a billion streams. We have everything.
All right. I have a new idea. Ready? Alex, what would For All the Marbles podcast taste like if it were a drink? That's the next concept. So if there are investors out there, reach out to Alex and Bart. We'll start doing that. But I mean, that's not, I don't want to say that's unique. That is certainly a unique idea, but it's not that much more unique.
It's not too far off. And
It's
we've
not.
definitely been asked about podcasts because people love podcasts, listening. But that's what I listen to majority of the time. And to be honest, we can do any translation of a data set. So let's say if there was a kind of algorithm that they use for podcasts, we could definitely find that and try and translate it to flavor.
Wow.
We've
Can
done
that be your
some.
third or fourth business, Alex? Sound good?
I
Yes.
feel like it would be a part of it would be Mixley takes the podcast.
Okay, well, but partnership with Bart Berkey, most people
Yeah.
know Marblism, you done. What is, tell us a little bit, and I want our listeners to learn. And we're finding that it's not just entrepreneurs that are listening, it's people that want to they want to learn something unique and different. From a sales perspective, we talked about scaling. You nailed that right away. We talked about greatest challenges. You nailed that right away. Tell us a little bit about your focus on the customer as an entrepreneur. What does that mean to you, and how do you show that you want to focus on them and not just on you?
I think it still goes back to the trust, right? So we hope that a lot of our customers become repeat customers, right? Like any business, that's what you need. So partnerships is our way of doing that. Whether if it's a DMC, we were lucky to start a couple partnerships, you could say, with different ones here in the US. If it's venues as well, being able to cater our service to any customers, right? Because we go a lot of different verticals: internal meeting planners, external meeting planners, venue sales, network marketing. We have a lot of different personas that we talk to, knowing what's best to mention and to relate to them. That's beneficial for their job. I
It's
think
not
that's
just about what you can do, it's about what can you do to help them.
exactly. So when we talk to venues, it's a whole different kind of conversation than when we talk to an external meeting planning agency. If it's a restaurant or bar, because we do have in the works a way to bring our concept to bars, any restaurant as well. That's a whole different conversation as well. And today we're here at Las Vegas for our first wedding show. And now I'm learning it's a whole different world here as well. Wedding planners, wedding venues.
Okay, that's the planners and venues are in
Yes.
attendance, and they
Yes.
probably are eating this up. Thank you for getting up super early to do this. I know it's a big time difference, but you said
No problem.
you said
No problem.
hand it off to Alex. Alex is going to handle it. I can't remember what other line we were using for this podcast, but
Good hands.
right, yeah, you're in good hands with Alex. Don't worry
I
about
love how
it.
your brain works. It's hilarious.
It's fun. It's definitely fun. Okay, we talked a little bit about the entrepreneur element. What do you think is the greatest benefit of being an entrepreneur?
Oh my goodness. So much for sure. For me, it's why is the word escaping me? The fulfillment. The fulfillment of closing a deal as a salesperson is always amazing, no matter what industry, no matter what job, what level, right? If you're selling cars or if you're selling medical, whatever, it feels great. But doing that in a concept that is your own thing and being the top and bottom of your business, I think is a totally different level. And I felt that in this past year for sure.
We had a gentleman on last week or the week before, Will Byington, who's a photographer out of
Okay.
Chicago. And he shared this quote, and I'm looking for something similar to what you just shared. So Marblism can take this and promote it out to billions of people like they do and like we are doing. Not quite billions. But he said, he said, I don't work for the person. I don't work for the company. I don't work for the man. And he said, I am the man. And he said something along the lines of, like, every Friday night I fire myself, and every Monday morning or even Saturday morning, let's be honest with the hours that we all work. Let's use that. Every Friday night I fire myself. Every Saturday morning I rehire myself, but I rehire myself based on how I am showing up is one thing. Think about that. It is, as you
I
said,
love
top
it.
and bottom, right? You are accelerating and enjoying the glorious efforts of signing 50 new contract deals for the future. But then if a certain alcohol or non-alcoholic substance doesn't arrive and the Mixley machine isn't shipped, you're responsible for probably digging through with your team to figure out what it's both. But he also said this. He said, if I fail, it's because of me. If I succeed, it's because of me. That really relates to the top and the bottom.
It's like an NBA player. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. And you know what? I trust myself. And I think most entrepreneurs or anybody that's trying to start something on their own, that's what you have to have, a little bit of that chip. And you said his name was Will? Sorry, I
Yeah.
missed that episode.
Oh,
So
yeah. Will,
tell
Will
Will I'm more
Vine.
of a head case than him, because for me, it's at 3 p.m. every day, not every Friday. It's like
3
right
p.m.
before the
every.
end of my day. It's like, so I'm more of a head case than him for sure. There's always, you always feel like there's more to do. And obviously every human has their bandwidth that they can get to and then burn out, whatever. But I feel like when you're in this world of trying to start something or do something without corporate, without bosses, whatever, you always feel like there's more pressure to do more. So that's, I definitely relate with what he's saying.
Any advice for people that are listening? How are you trying to do your best to balance that, Alex?
Organization, I think for sure. That's something that I think in my school years and my early career, I was very like a disorganized person, or just I can organize it in my head, not on the paper. And when I listen to podcasts, read books, everyone always says, write down your thoughts, journal, do stuff that's going to help you remember your goals and your plans every day and stick to them. So that's
I'm
something that I still work on, but it
Yes.
helped me in this past year for sure.
Wonderful. We at that F1 arcade event in DC last night. Shout out to F1 arcade events. It was
They're
amazing. And
awesome.
F1 arcade, by the way, partnership with F1. And imagine it is a location, it's a venue, it's a glorified restaurant in which you can sit down and you can ride essentially the simulation machines that simulate going around an F1 track. There are so many elements of team building and learning, personal development that is now going into the next phase of F1 Arcade. But holiday season, make sure you check out F1 Arcade. We have to give a shout out to that
I'm a
team.
fan.
Just right.
I'm
Yeah,
a fan.
I'm a fan also. But last night I met a person and there was a really good story that I want to share with you. And now it's coming to me. That was a good stall. I shared this and it was just a new friend, a new person at this event. That's what we're trying to do when we attend events. I told her I was a motivational speaker. She said, "Oh my gosh, tell me more." We went into the conversation. And I said, "Well, tell me about you." She said, "I really need motivation now. Tell me, what is your number one personal or professional obstacle that maybe we could chat with?" She shared very openly. I'm not sharing her name or his name. She said, continuous self doubt. Continuous self doubt. We talked for 5 minutes. We shared with her different ideas and what would trigger her to feel this way and what's the worst that could happen. We
Mhm.
shared this statement, which has helped me. Two things. One was release to rise. Don't put so much pressure on yourself that you can't function. That happens to some people. Release to rise, almost like the finger traps. If you've ever seen them, you put your finger in the bamboo finger traps. The only
Yeah.
way to get out of them is to release, because if you
Mhm.
pull, it constricts. That was one thing that helped her. The other thing I want to share with you, this as a friend, Alex, a friend of mine from Pelican Marsh had shared this. I always talk about do your best. Takes the pressure off. Do your best, because that's all you can do. Success or failure, like Will said, did you do your best? If you can answer yes, you should feel good. He added one more thing onto this. Shout out
Okay.
to the GM at Pelican Marsh in Naples. He said, could we add this onto it? Do your best, but don't give it your all.
I like it.
From a
I like it. Yeah.
professional perspective, what is that? How would you interpret that?
Well, the thing is, I feel like from a root level, what that means is that there's more to life than your work, right? So don't give it your all. It's meaning save some of yourself for what's truly important, right? If that's family, if that's just keeping your mental right, I think that's definitely the root of that. And when you say it, it fits. I like it.
Good,
I
because
give it your all professionally, but don't give it
it's
your personal all, right?
yes, that's even better. Boy, you just enhanced it one more level, Alex. Thank you. All right. You had shared, and we just have one or two more questions if you're okay
Sure.
on time.
I can stay forever.
Okay. When you shared the element of organization, maybe when you were in high school or in college, maybe you were not as organized, and now you're learning that you need to be more
Yeah,
organized, in order to be
definitely.
more
It's a need.
successful.
It's a need
Yeah.
now. Yes, absolutely.
This is going to be a subtle insertion because I believe in it for Marblism. I did
Okay.
not walk you through this yet. I didn't tell you much about Marblism quite
Mm.
yet. I just want to share one thing that I believe Marblism does to help people. So, what Marblism does is they give you, and this was Urich's concept, the founder. He started a couple of businesses and he was outsourcing people to help him. And this was years ago, before AI was really around or more known. He would hire a ghostwriter to help with his blog posts. He
Yeah.
would hire an attorney to help him temporarily. He would hire an accountant. Then he hired an assistant. Then he had to hire a receptionist. And he realized he was spending a lot of money in all these channels, but it helped him to grow a business to the point where he sold it. Thank goodness, successful, made some money. He thought, well, now how can, not everyone can afford $2,000 for a ghostwriter, $5,000 for an attorney, $3,000 for an receptionist, whatever the case is. He has now created a platform to be able to give people access through Marblism to 7 AI employees. Alex, it's like $39 or $49 a month. That's it. He is trying to grow the masses by helping. The one example that I wanted to share is Ava is your virtual assistant. Ava can help organize your inbox. Great. There's tools that help do that. But specifically, you say, okay, I want it to be flag this for respond, flag this for file, flag this for probably junk, file this. If it says RFP and speaking engagement, flag it for importance. You can customize that. But the other crazy thing that I didn't even realize, Ava creates draft email responses to everything, to your entire inbox.
So you can be quick with it, right? You
You
can
can, yes,
be efficient.
yes, yeah, you can be organized and you can look at it. And I want to see if I even have an example. I know I'll give you a quick example. What I'm finding is that the emails are in my tone because I'm sharing my tone, but they are more thoughtful than me because I'm so busy, right? We're all so busy. However, it's more thoughtful. So I got introduced to someone who works at a destination marketing company. I'll read this for our listeners, which it just blows me away. And I'm so proud of Urich and his team. So this was an introduction email. And then the gentleman who my friend is introducing me to sends a note, but this is the draft email. Hi, Frank. Great connect with you also. Thanks for checking out my background. Always nice to meet someone who understands the DMO space. I'd love to have that conversation to see how we could collaborate and support each other's efforts. Here are some times that work for me over the next couple of weeks. Let me know, or send me your Calendly link. We'll make it happen. Right from Bart. Okay, so this assistant, Alex, goes into, because I connected with my calendar, and checks my calendar
Yeah.
and shows availability and sends it. And then if the response back is, and I think this is true, we can meet next week from noon till 1, she will create a holding spot on my calendar from noon until
Yeah.
like, it's unbelievable. So I'll tell you more about it offline. But
I want to just chime in and shout out Marblism, shout out Uric, because if they came up with something that can help a motivational speaker, like Bart, you are like a communications expert,
uh,
and Ava, what she's doing is
yeah,
being better than you at one of your best skills, which
oh,
is communication. So shout out to them for sure. That's crazy.
no, it's so funny. One other little aside story. Imagine if you've ever had conflict with a relative or a friend. This was happening with a relative, I'll say, with me.
Okay.
And the emails were not so friendly coming from this relative to me. My response, my initial response would be, "You are so mean. I'm never talking to you again." That would have been my response. But
Close
when
the
I
door.
looked to see what Ava had created, because she doesn't know the relationship, which shows the value of emotion and the humanistic part of things, Ava was able to say, "I'm so sorry to hear that you disagree. We can definitely set up time if you'd like, be able to come with a conclusion. I'm sorry that I didn't give you a shout out on your birthday. And you know what? We will do our best to make sure that we're taking care of relative XYZ together." And it was just so lovely but with just the right tone of, yeah, it's me, but it was lovely.
Mhm.
Remove the anger from me and the
Yeah.
frustration with this one relative.
And
So
then all
it's
I
just,
needed was to do a referral code for a therapist.
yeah, it's just, it's so fun. So I'll talk to you through some,
Yeah, I've heard about it. I've heard about it even before this.
okay.
What was it? John Yee
Oh,
was
yes.
telling me
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah. Good. Well, shout out to, right, to Marblism, to Yurick for being able to create some really cool things. And
And that,
Alex, shout out to you and Mixley for being able to expand Mixley in the US. I think it's absolutely incredible what you are doing. I'm proud of you as a human being. I'm proud of you as a 26-year-old. Even if you were a 56-year-old, I would still be proud of you. You are bringing it to the table every single day, and you're doing it for the right reasons. And you're making people experience fun and happiness, and your drive is there, and you're going to be in good hands with Alex. Last question for you, I promise. Is there one success story that you can share with Mixley making an impact that these people are like, let me call Alex and tell them exactly how our attendees felt as a result? Can you just share something along those lines?
for sure. Honestly, it's the same reaction at all of our events, so I could say all of them. But really recently in November, we were lucky enough to partner with Cohira, a destination management company that's now, it was a merge of CSI. And they did an event for FICP. So there was insurance planners, insurance event planners. And it was at the Washington Cathedral, which was super exciting for us. So we have a concept from Belgium that was right next to a president's statue. So we were right next
Yes.
to Woodrow Wilson in there, which was super exciting. It was a really amazing event. They did a symphony, I believe it was called Symphony of the Stars. I hope I said that correctly. And they just had an amazing event, and they had 700 event planners in there in the insurance world. And they just absolutely ate it up. There was still all kinds of other activations in there, even live choir, espresso bars. You know how it is right now.
Hmm?
Activations all over the place. It has to happen.
Yeah.
And we luckily, and as always, stand out. And we're able to now look into our inbox and look at the incoming, and Cohera has some business coming their way with Mixley. And we're lucky enough to partner with them. That was the
Fantastic.
most recent
Ah,
exciting venture, and it was
right.
pretty
And
cool.
dude, I'm in DC, not too far from Washington Cathedral.
Oh
Next
yeah,
time,
we should have made
uh,
it happen. You're right.
yes,
You're
yeah.
right. I apologize.
Give,
That was an
dude.
oversight.
No, no. Give me a Mixley T-shirt, and I'm happy to represent you. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
that would have been cool. I was running that one solo, but we were just off a different show in Chicago, right to there, and then right here. So it's been a crazy October, November, December.
The
We're
the
excited. So
yeah, thank you for sharing. The other cool thing about Mixley, and we've heard this a lot from the people that are hiring you are also hiring me as motivational speaker. They're also hiring me as a sales and service. What we're hearing from everyone, I think across the board, they want something different. They want something that is
yeah,
memorable. They want
no
something that
question.
is Instagrammable, not Googleable.
Mhm.
I presented to a group yesterday, a hospitality company, and there was a person who heard me speak 3 years ago and pulled out their gratitude stone that I travel with, that I share with people, and said, I just want you to know what this meant to me, memorable, every time I go to the airport, because what I heard you talk about 3 years ago, I take the stairs every single time I'm at the airport instead of the escalator. Because Bart, I remember your story talking about doing what most people don't. What I've seen with you, Alex and Mixley, it is this experience. It is something then to talk about. It is, I have a drink that tastes like a Rolling Stones song. What did you get? Oh, I have one from Jimmy Buffett. Well, let's
Yeah.
talk about it. Well, I mean, I know you see people sharing sips with each other. I also like the non-alcoholic version for someone that does not drink, and it still tastes like I would imagine the song. Thank you again, Alex. The best way for our listeners to be able to reach out to you to learn more about Mixley or just connect as a new friend, as in the entrepreneur world, best
Yeah.
way?
For sure. So if you're looking for conceptual information on Mixley, go to our website, mixleyfaithsandmusic.com. A lot of FAQs on there. Also, request form to set up a meeting with either me or a European team, because I know you're global, Bart. The Bartverse is global. So for anybody over there, we launched our Instagram recently, Mixley_USA, and then Alex Sechopoulos on LinkedIn if you want to talk to me directly about anything. I'm willing to make friends.
Wonderful. Alex, I want to spell your last name, Sechopoulos, just to make sure everyone gets it. Alex, Alex, Sechopoulos, Sechopoulos. On LinkedIn, I know, pardon me, did I get it right?
Yeah.
What'd you say? Sorry, what'd you say?
Alas, little Greek shout out there.
All right, good. I'm not pronouncing it right, I know. Alex.
No, you know, no.
Sechopoulos.
No
Anyway,
problem.
reach out on LinkedIn. I know that you're just getting, I don't want to say started on LinkedIn. You are putting in some great posts. We want to make sure that we're building up your LinkedIn network because I think you are incredible.
for sure.
I think Mixley is incredible. Please connect with him there. Go to the website. You can find out his contact information. Yeah, and just keep on doing some great things. Alex, cannot thank you enough for being on the show. For
Thank
all
you.
the marbles.
For all the marbles.